and welcome back to another, Bold Biz Chats. I can't believe it's another already. I've got an amazing guest today. Louise, she's a transformation coach, and she's all the way over to Dubai. Can't wait to bring her out and let her tell you all a little bit about herself. But just sit tight for one moment here. A big shout out to the Bold Radio Station team. We are broadcasting live at boldradiostation.com. We've got a lot of cool, neat things going on coming up here in the fall. And so stay tuned. You'll be seeing things going on around social media. And we ended up bringing on a marketing and branding specialist to help us with the station. Always room for growth and change. I love it. Let me see. Could you please stop on by boldradiostation.com and check out our advertisers? We've got one that's here actually right in my backyard. If you are an animal lover and owner, RazorCanine.com has this amazing leash. This is my baby Grace's trainer. When we got Grace 4.5 years ago, we brought this gentleman into the house to help us test her out with equipment for walking her. And him and his wife make these amazing leashes right here in Birmingham, Michigan, and he can send out anywhere. And if you own a dog, you've got to get your hands on one of these leashes. They're just amazing. So stop on by our website. You can check it out. Get yourself a leash. And he's one of our advertisers / big supporters and sponsors of Bold Radio. Okay, enough of that. Let's move on to our amazing show today. Louise, welcome. How are you?
I'm really well, and it's a huge honor, and thank you very much for inviting me on the show.
Yeah. My pleasure. Thank you for being here today. Louise, you were at one point just recently a midlife coach for women, and you've made this wonderful turn and change of your business, and now you are a transformation coach, and you even have a mother-daughter program. But before I continue talking here, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
About me. Well, I've been in Dubai for 14 years. I've got 3 teenage children, 26, 24, and 22. I've been married for 27 years. I was a futures trader in financial markets, and I made the move to become a coach through some personal issues. And as you need into a men's mid, but it was never really sat right, and so now I'm a women's transformation coach.
We seem to be having some Skype internet issues, Louise. Oh, unfortunately, I think Louise, we are having some Skype internet issues with you. You're bleeping in and out there, and we cannot hear everything that you're saying.
Oh dear. Okay.
Oh, here you are. Now you're back. You're back. So let's start all over. Please tell us a little bit about yourself. Yeah, you know what, Louise, I love the internet when it works, and I don't like it when it doesn't.
No, I don't at all. Sorry, didn't you hear any of that?
No, you bleeped completely out.
Okay. Are you hearing me clearly now?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool. I've been living in Dubai for 14 years. I have 3 teenage children. Charlotte's 26, James is 24, and Sophie's 22. And I've been married to Ian for 27 years. For much of my time in Dubai, I've been trading in the financial markets as a futures trader. And from there, I made a transition into women's midlife coach. But you know, that word midlife never really sat with me. So I've always coached women, but now I'm a women's transformation coach. And that's really what I do. So, and I'm incredibly passionate about helping women who are really stuck, frustrated, generally have low self-esteem, with no idea what to do next in life. And I also have a very special mother-daughter program that's very close to my heart, because that's been really the push and the mission I'm on, to help people because of my own experience. So that's proving that's just going wild at the moment, and I had no idea there were so many people suffering out there. So that is something fairly new that I've just brought out into the market. But I've been given an amazing gift. We came to Dubai with my husband's career, and I've been given the challenge of leaving Dubai with mine to return back to the UK to live near my mum and dad. So, I got a big challenge ahead, which is very exciting.
Yeah, wow, congratulations. That is amazing. That is wonderful. So, Louise, how did you go from the midlife for women into transformation coach? And what does that transformation look like?
Transformation. Transformation is a big word, and it can cover anything from somebody having a completely brand new mindset and turning their business around. I've had one lady whose business was $450,000 in debt, and after a few months she was break even, and then she was making $6,000 a week. So that's a big transformation. I've had ladies who've managed to keep off 3 stone in weight, and various relationship issues. But on a much smaller level, generally during each coaching session and in between, there'll be those smaller transformations where, those light bulb moments happen and people really do realize that they are making the changes themselves. And that's the most exciting part, that you give someone a tool and they do the work and they make the transformation. So it's a hugely, hugely rewarding thing to be able to help somebody like that.
Oh, that's really exciting. Louise, I come from the mentality that we're always constantly transforming. Like day goes to night, sun to moon. How the earth is constantly, evolving and rotating. I feel we are constantly evolving and transforming. I just feel that a lot of people are maybe not in tuned with that. So it's really neat to be a part of. That's a huge transformation for somebody. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's an honor to be invited into somebody's life, and I find it a huge privilege that I'm invited at such a personal level to help them. And I have huge respect for people coming to me, and I hold a very different space for them. I'm not their partner. I'm not their best friend. They tell me things that perhaps they wouldn't tell anybody else. So it's a very special position to be in, and I have total respect for that. And I'm very much a results-driven coach in respect that I want them to reach their goals as much as they do, and I will do whatever it takes for that person to reach that goal, because I have an emotional bucket that I need to keep filled with this work I'm doing, which didn't happen in the futures market. That's one of the reasons I left trading the futures, because for me personally, it was just a lot about money, and life isn't about money. So
I agree with you, Louise. At the end of the day, we do need money, to put food on the table and all that. But I feel that when we're making decisions and we're leading ourselves based upon the money decision, we're in trouble. And don't get me wrong, I've been there. When I was in corporate, when I first started my businesses, I did that. I led with money decisions. I put money in, and I burnt out. Quite frankly, I burnt out when I was going through all that. But it's really beautiful to be in that position. Now, tell me a little bit about the mother-daughter program that you just put out there, and it's been such a beautiful, overwhelming, welcoming, a welcome.
It has. It's been quite amazing. Well, for me, myself, I've had a very, very destructive relationship with my own mum for about 35 years. And I've tried everything to repair this relationship, from what I said, what I bought her, what I did. Nothing ever worked and nothing ever changed. And I was desperate. I just wanted to be loved in a certain way. I wanted to be praised. I wanted mum to phone me up and say, "How are you?" I wanted to be hugged. And none of these things ever happened, whatever I tried to do. And living in Dubai, we would see mum and dad for a few days, a week at a time, and it would always end the same painful arguments that had been going on forever and a day. And I had made a conscious decision that I was not going to bring my children up like this. You know, I was going to have a very different relationship with them, and I tried desperately hard to do that. But would you believe the traits came through with my eldest daughter, and I ended up in a lot of aspects of her life controlling her as well. So I was in quite a desperate situation. There was a period where financially we had also over-leveraged ourselves with mortgages, and then the stock market crash came and we were left very exposed. So at this particular time, we had all these money issues, and we'd gone back to stay with my parents, and I asked my mum if we could just draw the line. You know, I'll accept you as you are and you accept me, because I couldn't cope with the financial pressures and this stuff that had been going on for 35 years. And she turned around and she said, no. She said, I don't love you and I will never change. So I had a decision to make because I couldn't cope with the situation. So we got back on the plane, and I made a decision that as soon as those wheels touched down in Dubai, the decision was made whether I had nothing more to do with them or I changed. And that's what I did. I decided I would change. I had no idea how. I hadn't got a clue. And that's when I embarked actually on an online coaching course. And through a lot of different processes along the way, many weeks, months went by. I didn't have a conversation with mum or dad. I did all this work totally alone by myself. And then I invited mum and dad to come and stay with me in Dubai. It was kind of like, you know, it was like an exam, if you like. It was a test because yes, I felt very different. I did feel different myself, but, you know, hang on, let's see what I'm like with her. Let's see. And it was absolutely unbelievable. I've never felt such a difference. It was actually surreal because I hadn't had these feelings before. The anger had left me, the resentment, the guilt. It had all just gone, and it was replaced for a love that's just carried on growing for my mum that I hadn't felt before. So it was all quite bizarre, really, at the time. We didn't have one argument in 2 weeks. Mum didn't know what I'd done. And at the end of it, I was actually invited to train as a coach myself with the company Mind Movies based in San Diego. And that's what I did because I was so astounded that this could happen. And the finances all got sorted and that whole thing turned around and life just went from strength to strength. But this relationship issue with my mum has just got better and better and better and better. And she held a birthday party for me in the UK. Yeah, it's wonderful. And she's also taken me back to where she was born. She showed me where she lived and where she went to school, etc., etc. So the whole relationship really has turned around, and so much so that we now want to return to the UK and live about 20 miles down the road from my parents. We're actually looking at buying a piece of land there to build our own home. So there's been massive transformation in my life, and also the effect it's had on my eldest daughter, who we did fall out with for a little bit of time. It wasn't anything as drastic and as destructive as the relationship I'd had with my mum, but still, it was not a healthy relationship. And I managed to repair this as well, totally alone. And it was only 4 or 5 weeks ago that Charlotte came to me, and she saw I was writing a blog on the mother-daughter program. And she said, why aren't you writing about us, Mum? And I said, well, I didn't want to expose you. You're a young girl. You know, you don't want this stuff on social media. I respect your privacy. And I didn't also want to put you in the position where I wanted to ask you and you said no. So I just left it and accepted it was. She said, oh, no, we've got to share this. There's so many people suffering out there. We really have got to share this. So that's where I am today. So it's an actually wonderful place to be in, because not only can I talk and help people with their own mother issues, these traits do come through as much as you don't want, to bringing up our own children. So now I've been given permission, if you like, to talk about my daughter, my relationship with her, that's also going to help many, many people who may well be suffering, helping their children. So it's been a sort of a beautiful turnaround that's only just happened in the last sort of few weeks. And I have been developing this mother-daughter program because I am so passionate about it. And it isn't necessarily that you form that relationship again with your mum. That may not happen. But what happens to you is your life transforms because the work is done on you. Mm-hmm. So you release those negative feelings. You see life in a different way because that mother-daughter relationship is so intense. It's incredibly powerful and it does affect, most areas of your life.
Yep.
So it's been quite amazing, really has.
Yeah, that is, that's, a lot of the feminine energy that is dancing amongst this world. And I just made a comment, and no, that's not woo-woo. We all have feminine and masculine energies within us, but it's so important, the mother-daughter, for lineages ahead to have those relationships so repaired. And something, Louise, it all comes down to that. We want something, so we have to make that shift and change within us. That doesn't mean that other person is going to jump up and down and rock and roll and and the light has arrived or whatever. That doesn't mean that they are going to change. But when we make those changes, that shifts within us, whether it's with our mother or father or a friend or, a business relationship or situation, people will respond differently to us. They always do. And again, I'm not saying that's the cure all, but people will respond differently, always.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that was exactly what was happening with my mum. Because I didn't fight back at her, I didn't have that anger and that resentment towards her, she began to respond to me differently. And I actually taught her how to hug because she didn't know how to hug. She'd be there with her arms by her side. And I hadn't talked to her about that. I didn't tell her, this is what you do. But now she's there with her arms open wide. And it's just phenomenal to me. Far more powerful this is than turning around the money situation, which we've also turned around as well. And I would have thought a few years ago that would have been the key to life. Well, if you can turn finances, you've got it all. But it's not at all. And that's why I focus so much on the relationship side, because you can't buy these things. You cannot buy these inner feelings of this fulfillment, this peace, this contentment, this purpose in life. You can't get it from anywhere. There's no one selling this stuff.
I know. You really can't. You can't go to the local mall or the store to buy this. You can't go to the local mall or store to buy integrity, honesty. You can't. Didn't the Beatles have a song, Money Can't Buy Love? I mean, money cannot buy love. Actually, money can only buy materialistic possessions. And don't get me wrong, I do like my materialistic possessions, but
yeah, I do too.
Absolutely. I think that is so beautiful. So you put a mother-daughter program out there, and when you say you put it out there, Louise, did you put it out there online? Did you put it out there right there in your own backyard community? What did you do, and what is it that you're offering in this program?
Yeah. Well, what I do is I actually developed the program on an online program because I can't coach everybody. I can't. You've got a certain amount of hours in the day, but I wanted to get my message to as many people as possible, which is why I've built this online program. Because with my coaching one-on-one, I actually have a policy. It's called an open policy, where as long as I'm awake, I allow my clients to get in contact with me on iMessage, on WhatsApp, on email, because stuff comes up all the time and I really want to keep the momentum going for them. So I'm very open with those people. And of course, I haven't got enough hours in the day to service, as the people that I'd want to. So that's why I've developed the program for all women who are really seeking some form of transformation in their life. And it's called the KTL Vision, is the program. And KTL stands for knowing yourself, trusting yourself, and loving yourself. And when you get those three things, you actually produce what I call the inner brilliance. And the inner brilliance really is just that total fulfillment and peace. And that was where I was at sort of along my journey when I'd got over the major hulk of everything. I really did feel, this amazing place. So that's where the programs come from. It's a 6-modular program, but I offer backup with it as well, with a private Facebook group, so that people have got contact all the time if they're struggling with stuff or what's going on. So I've literally just launched that program, the KTL Vision. But within that, I've been advertising the mother-daughter, which is the same program. It's just we concentrate more on the mother and daughter because we go through the same stages. So I've been advertising it as mother-daughter, and the response has been phenomenal. I did a post the other week for the Huffington Post. I've been invited to blog on their site. And that's had very good traction. That's good exposure for me on there. So I wasn't sure about this niche. I wasn't sure at all if there was even enough people out there, suffering, or who would, sort of admit and want to come out and talk about it. I just put it out there just as a trial because I thought, well, I've really suffered. If I can help one other person, that's fantastic. So I've been very open. My posts are very honest, and I'm trying to make it for women that it's okay to talk. It's okay, because it's very shameful in a lot of ways to admit that you are not even good enough for your mother's love. You must be a terrible person if the person who bore you does not even love you in the way that you're seeking. You must be, and there's huge shame around it, huge shame. And I felt very desperate a lot of the time. So my message really is to get out there. You don't have to feel like that, and don't do it alone. I couldn't do it alone. You don't have to do it alone.
Louise, I'm a big proponent on not having to go at things alone. There's nothing like being surrounded by like-minded and collaborating with your tribe and things like that. And, it's not that we can't do things alone. I don't ever want to, I don't want to say, oh, you can't do that alone, because you can do it alone. But with everything coming at us left, right, above us, below us, in front of us, behind us, with social media and the news and, the negativity of swarming of people. Why try to go at this alone? Why not surround yourself with others that are experiencing similar things as well, and be there with like-minded people for that support as you go in ups and downs and the ins and outs of your journey. I think that is, I feel that you took that on, alone, but it is so beautiful when you have others being surrounded with you.
It is, and I think it's especially, women, to support each other, can actually become very powerful. I have a wonderful Facebook group that I absolutely love. It's a closed group. It's a small group. It's very interactive. There's people in there all the time. We're all there to motivate each other. We're all there to tell our struggles. There's some very private stuff that's come out in there. It's a wonderful group. And that's a real, it's a real community that's formed. So there's different pockets all over that I'm really trying to get the message out there. Please don't suffer. You really don't have to. It isn't your fault. You have this relationship, and you can change it. You can totally change yourself without one conversation. And this work can also be done even if your mother isn't here, if she's passed away, because you're still left with the emotion. And I knew that when I got on the plane. I knew that if I didn't have anything more to do with my mom, I'd still be left with all that.
Yep. Yeah. I'll real quickly, I don't want to come away from you, Louise, but real quickly, and I think I've shared this a few times, live on the air is I was involved with an organization here locally in the Detroit area called Changing Woman. And the woman who is leading this up she's amazing. And it's a 9-month journey for women to step into, 9-month being gestational. And the first half of the 9-month journey is with the mothers, the elders, the grandmothers, the feminine energy. And then we turn the wheel halfway through, and then we go into the grandfathers, the fathers, and the masculine energy. And it's all done with women. It's she can have at one time per 1 year journey only 21 women doing it. And then there's circle sisters that assist this woman to support the 21 women that are journeying right now. I loved it so much. I became a quote unquote a circle sister, which I had to go through I think it was like 7 months of training for this facilitation. It's just beautiful, beautiful work. They have 2 weekend retreats up on Lake Huron, which is on the east side of Michigan. In fact, they just wrapped up their June retreat this past weekend, and it's beautiful, beautiful work. And it's healing. They go back seven lineages to move forward, 7 more lineages to stop the pain now, and for women to stop that pain and to stop it. End it here, so we can serve and move it forward. And it's this woman, I'm so in awe of, Ellen, who birthed this, and she just didn't birth this overnight. I mean, this has been going on for over 25 years that has grown, and it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. The year I did it, we had 2 pairs of mother-daughter. We had 2 mothers doing the 9-month journey, and we had and their daughters were circle sisters. And I'll tell you what, the miraculous things that came out of that 9-month, nobody can plan that. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. And I'm going to say this, and I say this out loud, and this is a very judgmental statement, but I think this is something every woman should step into and do for herself. And I own that judgment, but it's really is something, to step into, whether it's like your program, the mother-daughter program, or it's a 9-month journey like this, something like this in their own backyard or online or whatever. I feel all women should step in their lifetime and do. I mean, it talk about peeling down, and being in a very safe and sacred environment and have other women serving you and waiting on you is just incredible. It's incredible.
That sounds amazing. That sounds absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it really is.
Wow.
It really is. Anyways, all right. So before we go any further, Louise, please tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, get in touch with me. The best place is on my website, which is www.louise-armstrong.com. Or you can find me on Facebook, or you can Google on Facebook as well, my closed page, Conversations with Louise, which is my closed Facebook group. But the best place, there's a lot of free information I give on my website as well. There's a lot of help on there.
Excellent. Excellent. That is so wonderful. I'm so speechless of, taking this turn from, supporting women in midlife to this transformation coach and this beautiful mother-daughter program that you have put out there. And it's so greatly needed, especially today, which I'm sure you've heard all the way across the world. The pain that, again, yet this United States of America country is suffering with the Orlando, Florida issues. And, the young man, 29 years old, who went in and, this went on for like 6 hours. The police didn't just come in and barge. And anyways, everything that was going on there, I still come back to, there was a woman that birthed this young man. What is going wrong? Well, not that women are responsible for everything, because we are not, but we are a paradigm shift. We are the leaders of a paradigm shift. And this is not a Jane Fonda burn your bra statement, Louise, that I'm saying. to you. This has, we gotta. I mean, you're ready to raw or not? I don't know. I don't care. But, we do need men in the picture here. It doesn't mean we're not any better than men, because we're not any better than men. But we are the shift. We are the paradigm shift. We are the ones that carry the babies. We are the ones that birth the babies. We are the ones. And it does, take two to do all of that. But we're the ones, and and until it begins with women stepping in and stepping up and taking a shift and transforming and changing their relationships with themselves, their relationships with their mothers, and their relationships with their daughters. And it's like you said, your mother could have passed on. I don't have any children. I did that 9-month journey. I still can pay it forward 7 lineages ahead by stopping pain, even though I don't have any children. So it's any woman can step in and do this at any given time. And I love, Louise, that you said you don't have to do this by yourself at all.
No, and and it's so hard to do by yourself. I've tried so hard for 35 years because I was brought up that you do this stuff by yourself. This is very English. You get on with it, and you should be. And I was coping, but life is not about coping. It's not about existing. Life is for living. It's for enjoying. It's for knowing what you're passionate about, what you feel, you need to feel valued. Women, they so often feel such low self-worth, that they don't do anything with their lives. They're not worthy. And it's such a shame that they don't, there's so many people out there, and no, you don't have to do it alone. I couldn't do it alone. I'm the first to admit I couldn't make it work. I had no idea what to do. Yeah. No idea what to do. So the bravest thing, I think it was one of the bravest things I've done, is I thought, hands up, I want to make a change, but I don't know how. And I don't know what I want to change to. I just know that I do not want to stay where I am. Because this is not what life is about.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, we don't need to know the answer to the next step, but just being able to throw our hands up and go, SOS, I need some help. I don't feel well. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't want to continue forward like this. I need help. And I went through that several years ago. So that's the first place to begin. And, and I get it, Louise, that it's the English way, no, you don't talk about this stuff and you do this yourself. But I also think that's a lot of our ego, the hag in the attic that goes off in our head to, don't tell anybody, you're not supposed to do this and blah, 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 and get on in there and do it yourself as well. But I think I'm 56. I no longer want to do all this stuff by myself. I want the group. I want the girls. I want the peeps. I want the peeps. Bring them on. Bring them all. Bring them on. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Totally. I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah, it's far more fun. It is really far more fun.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of questions for you here as we start going in here to the last 10 minutes of the show. So, Louise, for you, what we measure determines our success. So how do you measure success?
How do I measure success? Very good question. I would say many years ago, my success would have been measured on financial aspects of my life. Success for me now is how many hearts I can touch. It really is. It's just so phenomenal now. And that is how successful I feel at the end of the day. If I've been with a lady and she's, made some form of shift and she's seeing life in a different way, that's success to me. Mm-hmm. That's huge success, and that's what I'm driven on. I'm on a mission, and I want to touch as many hearts. People who are ready for change. Not everybody's ready. It's not for everybody. Not everybody needs it, but people who are ready for change. I measure the success on how many people we can touch. How many hearts, we can change. Yep. And the other success for me is taking the business back to the UK, and that is a success because I want to do it. I don't want anyone else to do it. I want to leave Dubai on our terms, and me to take us back because my husband brought us here. and I want to take us back.
I love it. I love it. And you guys are heading there, which is absolutely beautiful. I just love it how you've repaired the relationship with your mother, and now moving back just just a couple miles away from her, which is it's like that full circle. It's like the Lion King, the Walt Disney, that movie, The Lion King. It's that we come full circle.
It is full circle. I kind of look at my life as like a jigsaw. When I was a baby, babies are perfect. I was born this perfect little thing. My mum adored me, and this jigsaw puzzle was perfect. Every piece fitted beautifully. Somewhere along the line, that jigsaw got dropped, and every piece flew in every direction, and there's so much stuff that's gone all over the shop. And now, slowly, those pieces have all come back together, and it's only now I feel whole again. And I feel safe, and I feel at peace. And when I get into bed at night, my heart is clear. And it hasn't been like that for many, many, many years. And that's my wish. If other women want that, that's my wish. And I love working with women. In fact, we're organising with another lady, female coach, a workshop back in the UK in September. And a retreat in Gran Canaria in February. So we got loads of exciting things on the horizon for women, who really want to take that step but have no idea what to do.
Well, at least, like I said, we were just talking a moment ago, is the first step is that awareness, and just raising your hand or waving that flag, so to speak, on the fact that, here's the deal. I don't feel right anymore, and I don't want to continue on this way, and I need some help to make these changes. We don't need to know what's coming next. Once you align yourself up with the proper support and the proper peeps and the proper village and whatever word you want to call it, you will arrive, you will get there. And by the way, it's not an overnight sensation. I do have to say that, Louise, because so many people are like, okay, I woke up, I want the help, boom, I want it fixed by Friday. It's like, no, that's not how this works. That's not how this all works. And the fun is in the journey, by the way. The fun is in the journey. I mean, the ups and downs, the ins and outs, the joys, the tears, the fun is in the journey. That's the beauty of it, is the journey, So my next question for you is, Louise, at this point in your life, do you have any regrets?
Do I have any regrets? Yeah, I do get asked this question a lot, and I could look back, because people have said to me, 35 years is a long time to struggle. Don't you wish you'd done it 10 years ago or, 20 years ago or whatever? But now life to me makes sense. Everything that's happened to me has happened to me for a reason. And I have had to feel this pain. I've had to go through all this because there's no way I could help anyone else if I hadn't. I know, everybody's different, don't get me wrong, but I know what it's like to feel deep pain, that's going to be similar to somebody else. So I've been through a lot of these things in order to help other people. I truly believe that. So everything that's happened to me, it's okay, because it was supposed to have happened to me. But I never used to feel like that. I used to lead a life full of regret, if only I hadn't done that, if only. But not anymore, because it just makes sense to me. And in fact, I've got I've been contacted by a ghostwriter who's writing a book on me at the moment. And a lot of stuff's going to come out, in that it all just makes sense now. So no regrets now. That isn't to say I haven't had them in the past. I've had a lot. But where I'm sitting right now, no regrets. It just makes sense. The puzzle's fitting again.
I love that. That's that puzzle analogy. That's a great analogy to use. And congratulations that a ghostwriter has contacted you, because that really, a lot of the stuff does need to be heard, whether it's verbal or whether it's in writing. I love the voice. It's all about writing or writing or the vocal voice. We all must be heard. Have you ever, in the midst of all of this transition, so to speak, felt like giving up?
I did I have had some very painful moments. What you mean when I started on my journey, when I started the healing? Yeah, I did. It was very hard. In the very, very beginning, I used to get a little tea light and a photograph of my mum, and I would put this photograph by the tea light, and I would just sit for about 10 minutes in the evening, and the room was dark, and I just tried to send her love. I looked at the photograph to just send her love, and I couldn't. And it was really hard. And I thought, I must be a terrible person. I could not do it. But I stuck at it. But there were moments when I thought, why am I doing this? Why? It's too hard. It's too painful. It hurts too much. Where's it going? What's going to happen? But something kept me going. Something deep inside kept me going, because I knew I did not want to be where I was. I could not live that life anymore, walking around with that pain. That was subconscious. I didn't walk around in a bad mood all day, don't get me wrong. But there was stuff there. It was like sort of taking around with me a bag of rocks. Mm-hmm. And when I got on that flight, that bag of rocks did not stay in the UK. That bag of rocks got on that plane with me.
Yeah, that luggage, the bag of rocks, that follows us until we surrender and learn to let that go, and rock by rock and stone by stone, and we lighten that baggage. I don't think we ever completely empty that and make it picture perfect. I'm not into picture perfect, but we do learn to heal and get and lessen that load, so that we are able to look in the mirror and go, yeah, I have no more regrets, and yeah, I love myself, and yes, I'm not perfect, and I don't mean just the cellulite or the rolls or anything, that not being perfect, but just being, I'm human and I'm not meant to be perfect, and it's really getting on down and really turning in men own self. And by the way, this work is that Louise and I are talking about is not just for women. Men can do the same thing. It is the internal personal development type work for men does look different than it is for women. And there's other dynamics that men are addressed when they step in and do personal work. I think it's more predominant, though, in my opinion, Louise. More women do this than men do. I think women are more apt and more leading the way on that. We need more men stepping in and doing this as well.
Yeah, we do. We need more guys on it as well. But, you can really affect your husband by not even speaking with him. Your husband will change as well. When I started out on this, Ian said to me, I don't know what you're doing. It sounds like a lot of crackpot stuff to me. And those were his words. Geez, what do you think that's going to do? But now it's wonderful, because he fully backs my business and he does a lot of the technical side of it for me. So that's somebody, transformed in his way, if you like, from calling it sort of crackpot stuff to, wow, this is fantastic. I'm behind you all the way. So it's not always, so much of this stuff isn't with the spoken word. It is by our behavior, by our energy levels, by the way we project ourselves.
Yes.
And by the way we are, not just speaking.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree with you. All right, my last question for the day, Louise, is this whole transformation, this whole beautiful journey that you have been on and continued to be on, which I have to say that because I've heard a lot of women say to me, oh, I can't wait to get through this journey and arrive. And I'm like, just don't arrive. No, this is forever.
You never arrive.
Yeah, you never. This is until we leave this beautiful human body suit that we are on borrowed time in. So with all this that has been going on, how has this shifted around your whole business as a transformation coach?
My whole business now is I'm taking it all online. So the whole thing is now going online, because I can reach so many more people, and it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. So that's a very deliberate decision to take the whole thing online, hence the programs, hence I'm now working with people in America, with people in the UK and in Australia, because the world is a big place. There's a lot of people out there. So that's from my personal transformation. It's not just from the face-to-face people, how I started out in Dubai. I've grown and grown, and now it's it's across the waters, and it's very exciting to speak to different women in different countries with different cultures, and so that's it. Transforming from Dubai to globally, really.
I love it. I love it. That's really helped you turn in, do your stuff so that you can turn around and turn on out to serve and lead and pave the way for other women, especially that, oh my gosh, that greatly needed mother-daughter program. That is absolutely beautiful. Can you share, Louise, one more time how everyone can get in touch with you?
Yeah. On my website, which is www.louise, Louise-Armstrong, ARMSTRONG.com. And you'll find all the information there. You can. I always offer a discovery call for anybody not sure, if it's right for them. Because every program I offer, whether it's face to face, whether it's online, I want to make sure it's right for them. I don't want someone doing stuff that they don't know what they've got into, and B, they're not really sure what's going on. So I always love to talk to everybody before they embark on anything, just, so we can be really sure it's the right fit for them as well.
Yes, and it's important. It has to be the right fit, or else it's going to be like, I'll use the analogy. One of my businesses that I have is a fitness business. I love showing up on Monday morning to people's, when it was at an all-time high many years ago, they'd go, okay, today's Monday morning. I am on this new regime because I read in the magazine that you are supposed to exercise at this time of the day. And I would like, okay, well, if you say you burn more calories at 5 a.m. in the morning, and you are not a morning person, let's see how long that one's going to last.
Wow.
That's not going to work, so, it's what your body does well with, and that's my analogy that I compare to what it is that you were just saying. It's just, you cannot just go by because of what our article says. You have to have a phone call or a strategy session with Louise and see if this is a fit and this is going to work for you, not just because a magazine says so or someone else says so, so I don't mean to minimize everything here, but it's so true how so many people are still following, what something says. It's like, but what was it the article says? Get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and exercise for an hour and you're not a morning person. Well, that's going to last 5 minutes, not even.
Yeah.
So,
that's brilliant.
So please reach out to Louise. Louise, oh my gosh, thank you so much for stepping in today and being my guest. I so appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been a huge honor and it's been a wonderful privilege. Thank you very much indeed.
Yes, absolutely. And you go out there and, you're winding down your day. It's an evening for you in Dubai. So enjoy your evening and some sweetest of dreams to you.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And hey, everybody, make sure you reach out to Louise. Track her down. Go check out her website. She's out there on social media as well. And get out there and make it a great week. And thank you so much for joining me, Kim Boudreaux-Smith, over here at Bold Radio Station. Track us down at boldradiostation.com, or you can come on by my website at Kim B. Smith. That's kimbsmith.com. Stop on by, say hey, say hi. Make it a great week, and I will hear you right here, same time, same place next week. Thank you so much.